lockdown
This
because
one
there's a bear on
has,
campus right now.
Oh, no.
This one has some dangerous points in it, y'all. Take your pen or pencil and take step number 3 and 4 and join them together. Because if they miss skill number 3, they will miss skill number 4. Because we're taught as evaluators that they go together. And if you read it, process it, you'll see that they do go together. What's skill number 3? Zero the scale. Okay, what's skill number 4?
Stand next to him and help him. Assist them. Assist client if needed. How do we determine if it's needed?
Well, actually, because some people will step on the back of the scale just because they're a little bit clumsy or nervous or have lack of balance or whatever. But please tell them that not to take that step for granted, because I have had a couple that failed with me because the people were on the very back of that scale and stayed there the entire time, and it was going flop, flop, flop. You know how it does? Flop, 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 and it was like chasing rabbits up there at the top, and it was just terrible. But those 3 and 4, if they miss 3, they will miss 4. That's what the National Council has told us to do. All right, the scale is going to be off balance when your student comes up there. It'll be somewhere where it shouldn't be. And in this one, the patient can walk. It's not a problem. You don't have to help them to walk or anything. They don't need a gait belt. Some of them kind of turn into an ambulation skill when it's not. All right, Miss Beth, we just need to check your weight this morning. Now, let me tell you this. The starting position for this skill is with the patient sitting at bedside. So the evaluator will have the person sitting here at the bedside. Okay? And then, if you'll put your shoes on, please, ma'am. All right. Okay. All right, let's just stand up, and I know you can walk. I'll just be here if you need me. Okay. And when you get to the scale, stop. Don't step on it. Go ahead and tell your students to tell them that ahead of time. Because if they're anxious and they go ahead and step up there, your student may not even think about it. So let the instructions be, walk to the scale and stop before you get up on it and wait for me. I think that would be a good step to throw in there. I'm going to balance it. I'm not really balancing, I'm zeroing. Balancing is when you're adjusting it. I'm just zeroing it to be sure that it is balanced. And it is. Okay? If you will step up in the middle of the scale, notice there's no paper towel because they're wearing shoes. Okay? And I know that you teach them the possibility of paper towel. That's if they're barefooted. But they got shoes on, so there's no paper towel. We balanced it. Now, I talked about this at summer conference, and I can't remember who did the little station for me, but an easy way to get this weight right. Let's turn this thing around. Jump off just a minute. Now you know she loves y'all. Do you know that? Okay. Sorry.
This makes it even better. I can't see the numbers.
Okay. To prevent organ music. This is what I call organ music. I see it very often. To prevent that, tell them to pretend. I got a clear shot.
Oh yeah, you've got your office on.
I got a clear shot.
That's good.
I'm gonna add that in my job description. All right. Pretend like tell them to pretend like they only have one hand. We're not making fun of anybody, just to pretend like they only have one hand. Take this bottom bar and move it 1 unit, 1 click of whatever unit. Now in this scale it's easy, it's pounds. Some scales are dual, pounds and kilograms, so they have to be extremely careful. It's in the groove. Tell them they got to be sure groove it. They got to be in the groove. Got to groove it. Okay? It didn't go down. Slide it to the next groove. You can hear it. You can feel it. It's in the groove. Didn't go down. Go to the next one. Didn't go down. Go to the next one. It went down. Now, with one hand, tell them to back it up 1 notch from where they were and not to touch it again. Come up here and move your top one.
Shelby Ballard, please come to the main office.
I told you that's the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper? Tell them to use it. Well, first off, let's get her off the scale. Let's get you off the scale. I tell you what, if you'll go right back over there and sit down, let me help you to get there. All right, you turn right around and sit there, and I'll be back with you just a second. If you need me before I get back, you call me, okay?
Thank you.
All right. All right, here's what I want you little darlings to do. I know they're smart.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Wash them boogers. Tell them to come over to this. Tell them when they get it there, not to move it. One thing, it leaves it for the evaluator. The other thing is it leaves it for them. Get the patient safe, wash their hands, come back over, take their bottom number, go to their paper, wash your hands, write that bottom number down over there to the side. There's a big margin on both sides of that piece of paper. Then come up here to the top. And it looks like it is 18, 19, it looks like it's 19 3/4. Now, tell them to get real with the test. You got 2 pounds variable. So if a quarter, a half, 3/4 gives you heartburn, round it up. So I'm just going to round this to 20. I know Beth don't like that. But I'm just going to round it to 20. I'm going to put it down on paper, and I'm going to add it to keep from making a careless mathematical mistake. And then I'm going to put it in the box where she told me to put it. But it is perfectly legitimate for your student to take the bottom number, the top number, write it there, make a little add sign, and add it, and then transfer the answer. That is perfectly acceptable. Encourage them to do that. Then they won't make a math mistake. And once again, tell them what you told them. Tell them what you told them.
About rounding it?
How many pounds?
2 pounds.
2 pounds variable.
2 pounds.
Tell them not to split small stuff when they go for testing. So just round it up. Leave it where it's at so the evaluator can come back and look at it. Now, let me see. I wrote that down. I washed my hands. I wrote that down. She's okay. She's got her call bell, and I'm done with that skill. Okay. Other than the washing of the hands, that was bad. I did it again. Did I leave anything out? Okay.
When they record, when you're doing your measurement skills, and you might have mentioned this with your area output, but I know at one point, and this is just because I've done this for so long,
Yeah.
they change things from time to time.
Right.
It's just my brain kicking in. At one time, they had to physically put CCs in the urinary output and make it be CCs. You couldn't just leave a number in there. And I know at one time we had to actually put pounds.
Okay. They can put nothing. Let's go back to the output. Excellent question. They can put nothing. They can put milliliters. They can put cc's. They cannot record in ounces. If they record in ounces, it's going to be wrong. The evaluator will not record in ounces. Good question.
But they don't have to put anything after.
They don't have to put anything afterward, but they need to be sure that in their mind they know that it's milliliters or cc's. They cannot record ounces.
And then for pounds, they don't have to.
They don't have to write anything.
Because they used to make us do that.
But I tell you what though, if they do get on one of those scales that's kilograms or pounds, tell them to go ahead and write it. That forces them to think about it. Because if they're way off, it helps the evaluator know how to interpret that. You know, because they could come up with a strange number if they read the top at one and the bottom at another. If they read pounds up here and kilograms down here, or vice versa, they could come up with a real strange number. So tell them to write what it is if they have one of those kind of scales, just to kind of help them force their thinking a little bit. Did I mean to do it in kilograms, or did I mean to do it in pounds? Does that make sense?
Agnes, what if you have to balance one of these? Mine is always zeroed out, but I don't know what you would do if it wouldn't zero out.
That's when you come over here and you can take a dime or small
The dime works really good.
Yeah, dime works so good you don't even have to look for
Just
nothing
turn
else.
it.
And where that little slot is right there, you just turn that ever so gently, one direction or the other, and it moves this weight just a little bit, and then that'll
Okay.
get it balanced for you. But the kids get zeroing and balancing all mixed up. When they're doing this, they're zeroing out their scale to see if it is balanced, and it is. And if it wasn't balanced and it was on 0, 0 and you double checked it, that's when you as an instructor can come here and balance it with your dime right there.
Mine's always stayed zeroed out, but I didn't know how to do that.
Good
So
question.
I've had to change the shop teacher has used it and they drag it back and forth and then it'll come back and it'll be all out of kilter, so.
And PE comes and gets them, that's what they used to do at my school. Okay, any questions on that one?
Do they have to zero it out after they've recorded?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Actually, tell them not to.
Okay.
Tell them not to. Then if they forget, they can come back and look at it again, and it gives the evaluator to come back and look at it again. So just tell them to leave it. I know that in real life you want to move it back to 0 because you don't want somebody walking up there and saying, "Oh, I know Deborah, I know Beth's weight now. Because she just got off that scale. I know her weight now." So you're exactly right. In teaching, yes, but for testing, leave it where it's at. Good question. Okay, what's next?
Range of motion, ankle.
Range of motion ankle.